Hi there guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Amira of thelittlemushroomcap.com, and if you're first time here, welcome. And if you are not new, you're already a subscriber, welcome back. Today I have another video for you to just share with you a couple of updates on my September and October progress. So I haven't been posting lately. I thought I was going to post twice a month in August, which didn't come to fruition because I just had been busy. I think it's because of the restriction has been lifted off in Malaysia. We can travel interstate, so my weekend had been really filled up with travels and visits, and I guess I didn't really have the time to kind of like sit down and edit the videos. I did kind of record my September, and then I didn't have the time to edit it until it's October already, and it's the end of October. I can't believe it. It's like super fast. So September and October was really busy. September was the launch of Quilt Label Wizard, so I was focused on that, and that was the only time that I had with my computer. Like I was just getting the Quilt Label Wizard was going smoothly, and that was the only time that I had on my computer. Otherwise I would just spend some time in the sewing room. But I do have a lot to show you with you today, so if you want to watch what's been happening in my sewing room, stay tuned. So welcome back. Today in this video I have a couple of finishes. Quilting finish, small little quilts finished for me to just get going with other bigger quilts that I have in the future. I do have a couple of work in progress, some quilting work in progress, some cross stitching work in progress, and I have a new start and also some hauls at the end of this video. So let's start with some quilty finish. So in my last video, which was the mid-August, which I said I was going to do a wrap up at the end of August, but I didn't get to that, was this bed runner that I made using the pattern in the Kaleidoscope book. So the Kaleidoscope book, I'll show you later when I'm updating my work in progress of the cross stitch. So I got this one done and quilted and bounded. So this is like fully finished. I love that I went for a straight stitching this time. So I went for the grid, the crosshatch quilting. I love how it looks like on that. It just turned out really well. I think it complements the pattern because it's kaleidoscope, and if you notice, like if you look at the kaleidoscope, I find that there are some crosshatch patterns that of the plastic glass, so I think that looks really well. I love this. I'm gonna show you how it looks like. It's pretty big, so I can't show you the whole thing up close, but here it is. So we have big blocks and small blocks that we make from the book. I use a lot of solid in this one, and then I have a printed low volume background. All of them is art gallery fabrics. I just love the colors. I think I love yellows. It's kind of fall-ish, but my kind of fall-ish, kind of still bright. So that turned out really well. So the quilting took a while to get done. Basically I did the first in the middle, so I went to the middle and I did a 45-degree angle line with my Hera marker, and then I start to quilt this line 2 inch apart, 2 inch and 2 inch. I just used the walking foot marker, so I didn't mark any of those. I just marked one of them, and then I start using the marker on my walking foot. So basically I did that, and then I went back and fill in the middle. So that took quite a while, but it was just like really smooth, just going under the sewing machine. From now and then I did like a couple of rows of stitches, and then I stopped, and then it got done like after a couple of sittings. So that was fun. So I showed you in my previous video that I did have the labels. So I actually ironed on the labels. And what I did was I zigzag stitched that onto there. I did press it with heat and bond, so it was like a sticker, and then I kind of quilted over it. So that is how it turns out at the end. I love it. So at least my quilts now are all labeled with the easy quilt labels. So once I have that all printed, what I have to do is just cut them down and then just put it in my quilts whenever it gets finished. So that kind of take the pressure away to have like what kind of labels do I want to put in, and even you can even write some of it. So let's say if you want to write this is a kaleidoscope pattern, you can just use a permanent pen. So I would use a micron pen and would just probably write the date of the finish. That would be great as well, because I didn't want to print the dates on because I don't know when it's going to be finished. But you can also do that. You can custom put the year of the quilt and get that printed as well. So that would be something to think of. All right, so my second finish of in September was a jelly roll quilt. So this one was an ad hoc project. I really like squirrels. Like, you know, whenever I have something, I try my best to not start a new project. But because I have been wanting to actually make a jelly roll quilt every time it's National Jelly Roll Day. So when comes September, and then I start thinking, oh, I should have thought about the jelly roll quilt that I want to make this year. So this year I was so inspired by Kimberly Jolly of Fat Quarter Shop when she did her like no waste jelly roll. She just did it in one day. She did a kind of a log cabin, and I was so inspired by that that I opened up a jelly roll and start recording as well, and I posted it on Instagram. And a lot of the Instagram viewers kind of like the pattern, so I made it into a pattern too. So it's available on the blog. It's a free PDF pattern. It's a jelly roll spinner. So I absolutely love this quilt. So this is a very quick quilt that you can make in a day because it just uses up jelly rolls. So I made this, I think, in 2 days. I mean, like a week, including all the quiltings. But it was so much fun to do the quilt top. It came up together pretty quickly, and then you have some leftovers that you can use for the backing. So this is what I made for the backing. So that's the backing, and that's the front. Isn't that cute? I absolutely love this quilt, and I made it into a pattern that's available on the blog so that you can get that one on the blog. So it's called the Jelly Roll Spinner. So this one is available on the blog. You can just put your emails in and it'll get sent to you. It's a pretty quilt that you can make, and pretty quick quilt that you can make. And I think I'm gonna make more when my jelly rolls come. So I ordered some more jelly rolls. I'm gonna make more of this quilt. It's a very nice baby size quilt, or you can throw it on top of the table or on the sofa just to decorate the home with. So again, on the back, I used my quilt labels that I've printed, and I pieced it in before I quilted it, so it got quilted as well. I love it. So even for the backing, it's included in the pattern, so you can make the same backing from the leftovers jelly rolls. So that was one fun, definitely was fun and quick to do. Let me see, I'll show you what I did with the quilting. So the quilting, as you can see, I did a flower, kind of echoing the flower. This is one of my favorite because it just gives such a good texture. So I free motion that. I also have a video on that on my Instagram. I'll put a pop in right here, some of that's going on. So that one has been fun to do, and there has been a lot of kind of engagement on Instagram, so I love that. You know, people are interested in making the same quilt, and I even have one of them posted to me that they made one of the quilt top, and it's already like it's different jelly rolls, but it also look beautiful. So another one of my recent finish, so this one is in October. I just finished this I think a couple of days ago. This one is the Good Times quilts from Bonnie and Camille's Quilt Bee book. So I used one of her charm packs, which is from Bonnie and Camille's line as well. This one is Sunday Stroll. So this one was a quick one to piece. it did take a while for me to kind of like quilt it together, just because I don't know what to quilt it with. And then I decided to go with some swirlies. So you can see some of the swirlies and leaves. It was really a lot of fun quilting this one. So it has a lot of textures. So this was one that I made earlier. I think I showed the quilt top in June or July. So now it's quilted and bound. I bound it with some of my Moda scraps, which is like a not as big as a jelly roll. Sometimes some of them is small, so some of them got like at the back, if you can see, some of them actually got the selvages in as well. But I kind of like that idea of putting the selvage in. So it has like some writing on the back of the binding, just because I wanted to use the leftover fabric. So that is scrappy binding all the way. I didn't purchase anything. The backing is from my local shop. So it's just a cotton that we use for making bed sheets. So I used that, and I also put a label. So again, the same method. This time I just applique it on. So I just ironed it on and I just quilted it. So I didn't even put a zigzag stitch. I want to see how this one lasts. Yep. So that is one of the free template that's available in the Quilt Label Wizard as well. So I love that all of them has quilt labels behind, and it's done, like totally done. You don't have to actually add the labels after you bound it. That is some of the finishes that I have for September, October. So that was fun. I do have a quilt top finish to share with you, a couple of quilt tops that I've been working on in September and October, and that is here. One of them is all the trimmings quilt along, run by Fat Quarter Shop. So I was one of the quilt along participants. So this one was a super fun roll quilt, and I just love making it with this fabric. So this one is Dear Stella. It's called Boo. It's cold outside. I'll put a link down below if you want to get it, because it's kind of pretty. It has lots of beautiful illustration, cute little cats. Oh my god, that's so cute. And then we made bows for the rows, and the last one is trees. So this quilt along is already finished, but you can still get the free patterns. I'll put a link down below as well if you want to make one. It's a very simple quilt. It's easy to make all these blocks. So this holly block was the first row, second row is the stockings, third row is the bows, and the last row is the trees. You can even make it double in size if you want to make a bed quilt. So that is the front. And then because I was so inspired by the jelly roll backing, I made a similar one with the leftover fabric. So this one is the back. So again, the same thing. Oh, I need to actually iron that. But the same thing, I had a label, and then I pieced the label in the middle like that. And then just a stripe. So this one was leftovers from the fabric that I made the quilt top with. So that way you can actually use up the fabrics that is left over from the top, just put it into the backing. So that one is going to be basted and quilted soon. I think it's going to be a pretty quick finish because it's small. I also have another one of quilt top that got finished in October. This one was another sew along. This one is hosted by Sharon Holland of Art Gallery Fabric Designers, and Maureen Cracknell, also one of the Art Gallery Fabric Designers. So they run this, I think, already on the second year or third year, I'm not sure. But this is based on Sharon Holland's pattern, which was the Sweet Home. This one right here. Mine got ripped, my little one ripped it. But anyway, it's a PDF that I got. You can also get a printed pattern. So I made mine using some of my stash of Art Gallery fabrics. So what I have here is all the florals. So I was going for like a really bright neighborhood, and this was definitely fun to make. So a lot of chain piecing, and I also used scrappy background, which is from Art Gallery Fabric as well. I think it's still available as a bundle. I'll put a link down below if it's available as a bundle, but it's a whole bundle of like low volume fabric, so I just used that. And I thought it was going to be so busy. I mean, like if you look up close, it is kind of busy, but if you look at far, it's like super cute to actually have all those scrappy background. So I'll put a link to this pattern and the quilt along. You have to sign up. I'm not sure whether you still have to sign up, but there is like a video showing you how can you make it faster and sort of that. Sharon Holland does that, but you do have to buy the pattern. So the pattern is this one, and you can do with whatever stash you have. So I made mine using Art Gallery fabrics, but you don't have to use Art Gallery fabrics. I just feel like when there is a quilt along or by the designers, I just use some of their fabrics as well. So that was a really fun one, and it's a big quilt. So I'm making this one for my mother-in-law. I'm hoping to actually get it quilted soon and put a border on. I'll put a border on first before I quilt it, of course, and then I want to send it to her. So that is one of the gift quilt. So some of the quilts that I finished also, I'm going to give it away because I think I have too many quilts already in my home. So that is going to be, this year is going to be the year of giving quilts, I guess. So I'm hoping that I get some of these finished and gift it away. So that is my quilt top finish. So I have a couple of work in progress that I've made a lot of progress in September and October. One of them is the 100 days 100 blocks tulipping, and I use like tulipping fabric, so I call it tulipping 100 days 100 blocks, but it's actually a pattern by Gnome Angel called the Kinship Quilt, and she does this like every year, 100 days 100 blocks quilt along. And her quilt along is just amazing. I mean, like you can go to the 100 days 100 blocks tags in Instagram, you can see like all this inspiration from all the quilters that's joining along the quilt along. So this is the pattern that we did this year, and I think next year she's still going to use the same pattern. So I'm thinking of joining it again next year because I just had so much fun this year. It was a lot of fun working with tulipping fabric. I think it's just magical. I mean, I didn't even plan at all, like the whole layout. I just played around with the fabric. It was just so much fun. I told you in my last video, it was just so much fun putting this together. I'm gonna put a picture of the whole quilt right here. With all the dots, you can see all the dots kind of pop out, even though it's all together everywhere. So I am glad I chose the stripes and also the dots for each of the block, because that kind of like hold it together. And the colors, oh my god, I don't know, Tulipping just does amazing work. She just let us like play with her fabrics. You know, when you get to play with her fabrics, you just have like a lot of imagination this much. Like I'm just thinking about all the little detail that she put into her fabrics, and it's just so much fun. So I've put all of this in rows. So I've put like this. So basically I labeled it with just a sticky note and I clip it. So this is like the front left, and I put which row is it. So when I go to the machine to piece the rows together, I know which row is it, and I try to keep that organized. So I've laid it out on the floor a couple of days ago, and I love it. I love how it looks like together. I can't wait to actually look at all of it together, like in a quilt top. I am going to put a sashing. So this is the sashing that I chose for the quilt. I love it because it's also tulipping and it has all of her colors, and it's like a bit plain than all of her other fabrics. So it has all the colors that will kind of bring all of it together, and also the gray kind of like lighter colors in between all the bright colors fabrics. So this is row 1 and 2. I've already pieced it with the sashing, and I'll also put a cornerstone in each of that. So there's not like a cornerstone in between the rectangle and also the square, but there will be a cornerstone in between each of that units. So I'm hoping to actually look at that in next month, hoping to show you the whole quilt top finish. I'm looking forward to have that on my bed, like a display. I love that, definitely. going to be working on that very soon. I don't know how to quilt it just yet. I don't know whether I should actually spend some time to kind of like custom quilt it, but it'll take forever if I do that. But I'm thinking maybe it's worth it. I don't know. I still have one custom quilt that I need to finish, which was my aviatrix medallion. It's still not finished yet, so we'll see. So I do have a couple of cross stitching in progress, which is one of them is the Kaleidoscope cross stitch. So I am up to here on the second quarter. I am a bit slow cross stitching because I just don't have the time to kind of like sit down and cross stitch. I kind of like to be in my sewing space rather than being outside watching TV or something, because I can't really do cross stitching sometimes. When I start taking this out, then my little one wanted to actually just climb on me. So it's better off for me to kind of like have the 5 minutes in the sewing space rather than stitching, because I can't even get one stitch sometimes when she's around. So I do try to get it when she's asleep at night. If I need some TV time, then I'll do that. But sometimes I just, when she sleeps, I run away to my sewing space to kind of like sew before my other big kids kind of sleep. So we'll see how long this take. But I love that this one also matches my quilt. So I'm hoping that it'll go together. So this is my quilt. So I chose like similar colors. See that? Oh, that's so cute. So I can't wait to get that done. This is definitely a fun project. I love the pattern. I kind of like this kind of like symmetry kind of pattern, and also like you are free to kind of use all different colors according to your stash or whatever, but there are different colors that's provided in her book, which is amazing as well. Looks beautiful. I'll show you one. Let me see. She also have like a color suggestion if you want to follow some of these as well. So this is definitely a great book because you have the quilt pattern and also a cross stitch pattern. I like that most of the quilters now have that kind of things, because I make the quilt and I feel like I want to make the cross stitch too. So I also have another cross stitch work in progress, which is the Shine On cross stitch from the Quilt Bee book. So this is the Quilt Bee book that I made the Good Life quilt from. So I'll just show you that quickly. So this is the quilt that I made just now, but I made a smaller one for the table topper. It's also in this book. So I decided to kind of make the same pattern for the cross stitch. And if you see, this is the whole cross stitch pattern. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do this small one that matches my quilt. But I chose some of the thread that is already available in my stash. I don't know, it was just DMCs, and that's how far I've got myself. So I like this. This is my first time kind of like stitching of a very small count. I think this one is, I'm not sure what count is this. Is it 40 counts? I'm not really sure what count it is. I better keep track of that so that I can share with you guys. But yeah, so I'm just getting back into cross stitch. I haven't cross stitched for a long time. So these two is my first kind of like come back to cross stitching. So I'll try and, you know, learn to keep more information so that I can share with you guys. And that is on the work in progress. I do have a new start to share with you. I started another quilt because I can't help myself. It's also another quilt along by a Quilting Life, Sherry McConnell. She's launching her new fabric line with Chelsea, her daughter, and I'm not using her fabric line, but I'm still stitching the quilt along together with my stash of pinks, and it's called Together Quilt. I'll show you the pattern. So this is the pattern. It's the Quilting Life Together by Sherry McConnell, and she's doing a quilt along. This was supposed to be for Breast Awareness Month, which is the October, but the fabric kind of came in late, so we started late. This one has started on 26th of October, and I think she's doing it really fast so that we can kind of like finish it off really quickly. So I've made my first part, which is all the heart blocks. I absolutely love heart blocks, and this pink is just amazing. So this is what I've made. I made a couple of them the same colors. These are just from my stash. I absolutely love that one. Florals, like it's super cute. I'm not sure what fabric is that, but it's all like a long time lines. I'm not sure whether you still can get it online, but basically I'm just using whatever is in my stash. Sometimes I like to do that, like so that I'm kind of using my fabric when I buy them. So yeah, so I hope that I get to finish that along with the others. But I also have a couple more quilt to quilt. I did mention in my newsletter that I have like about 10 quilts top to quilt, which I have just finished one, so I have 9 more to go. You can see right here all stacked up, like a couple of them. Some of them is already basted, so I just like need to just get it under the sewing machine, just like figure out what I want to do with them. So that is all for my work in progress and also some of my finishes. So I want to share with you what's new in my stash and the plan with it. I don't know when I can get to it, but that is something that I want to share with you. So I have recently bought this, which is a Fat 8 of Urban House Gatherings by Primitive Gatherings. So I have a plan with this. When I bought this, I know that I wanted to make what I want to make with it. So this is going into my kitchen. So I'm planning to make like a gingham, like a patchwork kind of like covers for all my appliances. I'll definitely be sharing with you how I go through that. And so this is going to be made using this black and white. So when I make things for specifically for something like my kitchen is kind of like plain, I like to keep it very simple in colors. I don't have many colors in my kitchen. Most of them is white, red, and grays. So I want to cover my appliances with these kind of colors. So I like that this one has a lot of different grays that I can put together, and I'm gonna do like a patchwork covers for the small appliances that I have on the display. Like I really think that when I have covers on them, it's easier for me to take care of them. It kind of like look all of them kind of like the same. So I wanted to do that. I'll be sharing with you if I start making on those, but I'm not sure when is that going to start. So that is the plan with this. About a Fat 8 of this, and I think it's going to be pretty. So that is new in stash for quilting, and the other one I bought is actually a new pattern for cross stitch. This is by Hands On Design pattern. I actually wanted to make this pouch right here. So that I bought also the linen for it, also the linen. So I bought the chalkboard black 32 count 100% linen by Wishel. That is going there. I haven't put the kits together yet because I need to get the DMC. I can get the DMC right here locally, but some of these fabric are hard to find here, so I usually buy them from Fat Quarter Shop as well. So this is from Fat Quarter Shop. This one is also from Fat Quarter Shop. I'll put a link down below if you want to get the same thing. I just find that this is like kind of fun to start with as well. It's like, it looks pretty easy. I love the words on it. And yeah, another reason why I haven't been recording is because we have a construction going on for our house, and what we are planning to have is actually two new rooms. So we have my kids moved out, and I'll have this room to myself. So to myself or with my husband, kind of like share office, but mine will be a bigger portion. But anyway, that's the plan. So I'll have this sewing room redesigned, kind of like reorganized, and I hope to actually put this one on top soon when I get it done. So I'll make the pouch first because that looks a bit smaller and doable. I don't know. I've still got a couple of finishes to finish first. But I've been enjoying starting again to cross stitch, and I've been enjoying a lot of floss tube that's available on YouTube, which keep me inspired to kind of like keep on cross stitching, keep on quilting, and I hope that this video will do the same for you. So if you want to keep up with some of the new projects next month, I hope that I'll post one in November, and I will also plan for one tutorial videos, which is going to be on using up your scraps. So I have like 10 projects that you can make using your scraps. So that is coming to the YouTube channel. I hope that I'll be able to kind of record that and edit that soon. I have one that is going viral in Instagram. I'll pop it up right here. So I'm going to plan from there. I'm gonna like make it a tutorial, like a full tutorial, so that I'll teach you how I use my scraps after I finish a quilt, and that will be coming to the YouTube channel other than this kind of like update video. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do like this kind of video, make sure you click the like button and subscribe. I'll have more tutorials videos soon too. So with that, I'll check out. See you. Bye bye.